Hey Hey everyone, I'm Tarun and today we are talking about the for each loop in Java. So the for each loop is also known as the enhanced for loop and it was introduced in Java 5. So if you're using an older version, you might not have it available to yourself. So it is basically an alternate approach that is used to traverse some iterable. So your iterable can be your array, it can be your string or any of the other iterables that we will be seeing in the future sessions. As the name suggests, it is mainly used to iterate over each of the iterable elements one by one. So let us see it in action and try to understand it better. So let me copy this code and let me just define package and I will paste this code. Okay, so if I run this, you can see that I will get the output as 53241. So let us see what happened over here. So I had an array to myself that was 53241. The size of this array is 5 and I wrote a for each loop. So the syntax for each loop is you write the for keyword, then you inside your round brackets you write two things. So first of all you write the colon in between that separates the two parts. On the right side you write the name of your iterable. So in this case I wanted to iterate over my array, so I wrote the name of the iterable. On the left part you write the name of a variable. So over here I have declared a variable named num and the data type of the variable must match the data type of the iterable. So in this case, I had an integer array. So that is why the variable that I have declared is also of the integer type. If you do not match the data type, you will get an error. Inside this for loop, what I have done is I simply printed the value of num. So what happened over here was that in the first iteration, the variable num took the value of the first value inside my iterable. So in this case, the first value inside the iterable was 5. So in the first iteration, the value of num came out to be 5. So that is why system.out.println num printed 5. In the second iteration, the value of num came out to be 3. And that is why we got a 3 over here. So this is how the for each loop works. It takes on the value given in your iterable one by one as it goes along. So similarly, in the next iteration, we will have num is equal to 2, then num is equal to 4, then finally num is equal to 1. And after taking the values of all the numbers inside this array, my loop will finally terminate. So let's say if I wanted to print the squares of these numbers, I would have simply written something like this. So 25, 9, 4, 16, 1. You can see that this loop seems much more simpler to write and easier to write than the natural for loop that we have been using so far. The benefit of the natural for loop in which we run a variable from I till 0 till the length, the benefit of that is over there we have access to the indices as well. We have a variable that is storing the indices. Over here we do not have a variable to print the index at each point. We do not have any variable storing the indices. So both the loops are used for their own use cases. If you need the indices, go with the natural for loop. If you do not need the indices, you're just interested in the values, the enhanced for loop is your best friend. So let us try to write a program and in this program I just want to check whether the given key value is present inside my array. So note that I'm not particularly interested in printing the index. I'm just interested in checking whether the value is present or not. That's enough for me. So since the indices are not particularly what I'm looking for. So a for each loop will be just fine for me due to its compact and easy to understand nature. So I'll write a for loop, and let's just say that the key is, in this case, let's say 2. And what I will do is I will also create a Boolean variable. So I'll say Boolean found is equal to false. I will initialize it by a value of false. Initially, I'm assuming that the value is not present. If, however, at any point during my loop, I'm able to find this value, I will change my found variable to true, that I found the number. And I can also break the loop over here. The break statement is also applicable for the for each loop. And at the end, I will just check whether the number was found or not. And I will print according outputs. So this is the program that we have for searching the existence of a number inside my array using the for each loop. So let us run this. So for this case, we see that we get the output as found, that the number 2 was present inside my array. If I change the key to 20, let's say, and I execute this program again, you can see that it prints not found, that the number was not found inside my array. So you can see that the code is much shorter, simpler than the previous for loop. Over there, since we were interested in the index, that code made more sense. However, if you're not interested in the index, then the for each loops code is a better one to go for. So that's it for each loops. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Hey everyone, we are at the end of the arrays section. So I have a few problems for you to practice it out and get. Hey everyone, we are at the end of the arrays section. So I have a few problems. Hey everyone, we are at the end of the arrays section. So I have a few problems for you to practice it out and get a better understanding of how to work with arrays. So the first problem says that we are given an integer n and we are required to generate and print an array containing squares of all numbers from 1 till n. So let's say that n is 5. Then in that case, I'm expecting an output as 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. So this is the array that is expected as the output, maybe without the commas and the square brackets. Over here, you can see that I have printed the values of 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, and 5 square. So starting from 1 up till n, all the squares of all the numbers from 1 up till 10. The next problem, it says that we need to read 2 arrays from the user as input and generate a third array containing all the common elements between the first two. So let's say that we are provided 2 arrays as input. So let's say A is equal to 2, 5, 6, 10, 12. And similarly, we have another array B, let's say, and B contains 10, 6, 1, 3. So we are required to generate a third array as the result. So let's call it result, RES, and we must put all the common elements between A and B inside it. So in this case, we can see that the number 6 is present inside both of these arrays. So we will put 6 over here, and the number 10 was also present. So we will put 10 over here as well. So note that the order is not important particularly for this problem. So this could have been a 6, 10. This could have also been a 10, 6. Even that would have been valid. So the order of the third array, the resultant array, is not particularly important. What's important is that we must find the common elements. The next problem that we have is, given an array, we must find the maximum and the minimum elements inside it. So let's say if the array is 10, 5, 2, 12, 0. So we are required to print two values. So in this case, the maximum value is 12 and the minimum value is 0. So my output will be something like this. Min value is 0. Max value is 12. Finally, for the last problem, it says that we are given an array. We are required to generate a new array that is the reverse of it. So let's say that we are given an array A as 10, 2, 5, 0, and let's say 7. So we are required to return a new array. We are required to generate a new array. Let's call it B this time. And it must contain all the values of A in reverse order. So it will be 7, 0, then 5, then 2, then 10. So we are required to generate this new array, and then of course we are required to print it to the console. So that's it for your homework. I hope you do try this homework out, and I can assure you that it will give you a very good understanding of what arrays are and how to work with them. So that's it for this video. That's it for this section. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you understood what arrays are, and I will see you in the next section. Thank you for watching.